Hello beautiful, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bettina and I'm the makeup enthusiast. In today's video I am doing my finale for my Pan Those eyeshadows for 2022. So if you want to know how many pans I hit in 2022 in my eyeshadow palettes, you want to see my progress for December, then stay tuned. But before we get into the video, if you are new around here and you love watching Project Pan content, I hope you consider subscribing down below because I do a shitload of project panning content on this channel. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on those videos. And without further ado, let's jump on in to the finale, the progress for December, and let's see how many pans I hit in 2022. Let's jump on into it. For December, I was working on 6 shadows and there was one that I knew that I was not gonna hit pan on at all, and that was my Sugarpill mini fun size palette. I was hoping to maybe get like 1 or 2 uses out of this palette before the finale, and guess what guys? That didn't happen at all. Are we surprised? So for this year, I was working on the color Continue. I was very unlucky in my opinion with my roll for this, and I, for the entire year, only used this one twice. So I'm hoping that this year sometime I can rotate this palette back in and maybe try and hit pan on one of these shades at the top, just because I feel like I might get a lot more use out of those ones. I feel like they will be a lot easier for me to work with. This mustard color here, it just was really hard to work with. I didn't really vibe a lot with the color. I think any of the ones at the top would just be a lot more easier for me to incorporate into eyeshadow looks. So on the whole, this was probably the biggest fail of my Pan Those eyeshadows for 2022, but lesson learned. So we'll see how we go. I really would like to hit a pan in that palette, but those shadows, I just think that they're really quite difficult to work with. So we'll see how we go this year with that palette. The next one that had been in the rotation the longest was my Enchanted Luster Luxury Chrome Bow palette. In this one, I was working on the color The Craft, and that's this bright green in the middle here. And as you can see, I did manage to hit pan on this one. I did use this one mainly as like a nail polish topper, so that's how I managed to get, you know, a decent sized pan in there. I used that as an eyeshadow a couple of times, but I just didn't really love the formula all that much as a eyeshadow. It wasn't really that great as a nail polish topper either, but I did manage to hit pan in it. I persevered and I was dedicated. So on the total, this one took me 7 uses to hit pan, and as I said, that was mainly because the low number mainly contributed by the fact that I was using as a nail polish topper most times. So that one, finally managed to hit pan on that one. I would, I think, actually like to focus on a little bit more in this palette, just because it's like a handmade palette, and I don't know whether you can see, guys, you can kind of see like the oil staining around the shadows. So just like for formula wise, it's probably not the most stable because it's a small indie brand that was like hand pressed, handmade. So I would like to just maybe get a little bit more use out of this one, just purely because of the fact that it is handmade and all of that jazz. Just want to get my money's worth. It's an expensive palette too. I think it was like 110, 120 Australian dollars. So it was a very expensive palette. I want to make sure I'm getting my money's worth. So we might rotate that in maybe once or twice in 2023 to hit another pan or 2 in there. And I said 7 uses on that one as well. The last 3 were like fresh rotates in last month or at the end of November for December. I knew that I was being very ambitious rotating these in, but nonetheless I did hit, I think, 2 pans, and I'm very close on another one. I didn't quite reach it on the last one. So we'll start off with, let's go the Naked Basics palette. So we'll start off with Naked Basics. This is the last Urban Decay Naked palette. I gotta preface that because I do have, I think, one more Urban Decay palette in my collection that doesn't have a pan in it. That might be on the list for 2023, so I can say that I've got pan in every single Urban Decay palette. but this is the last Naked palette that I don't have a pan. I was focusing on the color Naked 2, and unfortunately, as you can see there, I didn't hit pan, but there is a very serious dip going in the middle here. So I do think it's getting really close to being able to hit pan. This might be an easy, like, give me shadow to rotate in at some point in 2023, some point in this year. I think it will be like an easy shadow, maybe a month, less than a month, and I might have this one panned because I was using this as a crease color and I was blending it out quite a lot. So I was using a bigger brush. I was using a like decent amount of it each time I was using it. So I think that I could hit pan on it very easily. That one I used 13 times. So again, a lot of uses on that one. Next, we'll move into my Pat McGrath. This is the Mothership Mega Celestial Divinity palette. This is the first, I just had to check behind. This is the first edition of this kind of palette. This was Christmas 2020, I believe. Yes, 2020, 2021, 2022. Yes, this was Christmas 2020. This was the first like Mothership Mega eyeshadow palette that Pat McGrath did. Now, this year I managed to hit a few pans in this palette. If you've been keeping up with the project, managed to hit a few pans in this palette. Now, for the last quarter, I was working on the color Major Mahogany as a matte and Lunar Champagne as the shimmer. And as you can see here, I managed to hit pan in Lunar Champagne, which is this one. Did not get anywhere close on Major Mahogany. I don't even know. Oh, there is a little bit. There's a tiny little bit of a dip starting to show there. So this one's probably going to take a while. I think the Pat McGrath matte shadows, from my memory or from just watching other people's project pans, take a little while to hit pan on. But I did manage to, on the whole, in the last couple of months of the year, I managed to hit 4 pans in this palette. So, you know, maybe next year, if I'm struggling to get close to my goal of 24 pans in 2023, maybe I might rotate this one in for a couple of months, because I know that these are fairly easy to hit pan on. So if I need some like easy gimme shadows, might rotate this one in just as a little cheap give me shadow, because yeah, I hit 4 pans I think in like 5 or 6 months in this palette, so they're pretty easy to get pan on. So final count of uses on the matte shadow, so Major Mahogany, was 13 uses, and then on the shimmer Lunar Champagne is 15 uses to hit pan. That is that palette, and I'm very happy to see this palette looking used and having 4 pans in it. Very happy with my progress on that one this year. And then last but not least is my Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. I did have this one in the project for 2 shadows. So the first one that I hit pan on earlier in the year was Incense. I think I hit pan on this one in October or November. So that's that pan there. And then for December, I rotated in the color Base, which I used as like a eyeshadow primer setting color, and I managed to hit pan on that one as well. So that's right there. It took me 13 uses to hit pan on this one. And again, it already had a bit of a dip going in it, and I was using a bigger brush, setting a bigger area. So that's why I managed to hit pan on it with a decently low number. I'm very happy to see, again, 3 pans in this palette. I would like to see a lot more pans in this palette eventually, but I kind of have my eye on another one of my Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes this year to focus on. But having 2 pans in this palette now takes me to at least 1 pan in every single one of my Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. So I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy to see my Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes starting to get a lot more used and abused, especially because I don't know if any of you guys have been watching anyone else's panning Anastasia Beverly Hills palette videos, but the pans can start to rust if you're not careful. So just because I know all of my Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes are starting to get on in years, I want to really start to pay more attention and put more effort into panning these, because, you know, rust, eyes, it's not really a good combination, not really a safe combination. But I think if they are, like, if I'm finding that it's either like rusting the pan in the mattes, I might press it into like a separate pan, or if it's the shimmers, I might just use it as like a nail polish topper and get through it that way. So I will like play around with them a little bit and see. I definitely want to start to see more pans, especially in these Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. On the whole in my collection, I think my goal is I want to do like a pan in every palette at least. And I'm starting to make really good progress on that. Like, I'm getting through my palettes a lot more, but I have a long way to go. But there are palettes like these, my Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, that are getting on in age. And there is the added fact that I know that the pans start to rust, that I want to really start to focus more attention on them as well. I don't know, maybe in 2023 in my Pan Those eyeshadows, I might try and at least have one ABH palette in my rotation every single month. That way we might be able to like knock more pans over in those palettes. I'm going to have a think and play about that, but you guys let me know down in the comments what you would like to see me do, especially like given what I just said about my Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. Would you like to see me include just one palette and really try and like focus on a different shadow each month? Or would you like to see a rotation through my ABH palettes each month? Let me know what you guys would find more interesting or like enjoy more down in the comments. But I definitely want to keep it still in my Pan Those eyeshadows format. I don't want to just purely focus on one eyeshadow palette for the entire year. I want to keep it in my Pan Those eyeshadows format. So now we come to the very exciting bit, and we talking about how many pans I hit in 2023 how many pans I hit in this project in 2022. I want to see you guys make your guesses down in the comments. Let me know how many pans you think I hit in 2022, and drum roll, I had a goal of hitting 24 pans in 2022, so that was at least 2 each month. There was a time there, I think it was around June, July, I was struggling and I really had my doubts. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to hit that goal. Wouldn't be able to reach that goal. But the last couple of months, I ended up freaking smashing it. And my total pans for 2022 in this project is 30 pans. So I managed to hit pan on 30 eyeshadows in this project in 2022. I am stoked with that result. I am very happy, very proud of myself. I'm actually kind of shocked, but I am very, very happy and proud with my progress. I'm gonna try and get up there close to that number again in this year. We'll see how we go. Wish me luck with trying to meet that goal again this year. And that's it for this update. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments how you went with your Pan Those eyeshadows for 2022. What's your aim and goal for 2023 with your eyeshadows? If you did enjoy this video and you haven't already, you want to keep up to date on all my future updates on my Project Pan, my Pan Those eyeshadows, make sure you're subscribed down below so you can get notified when those videos go live. That's it for this video, beautiful. I hope that you're having an absolutely fantastic day. I hope you are staying safe, healthy, and looking after yourself. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, beautiful.